humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on April 27th, 2024 at approximately 4:30 p.m. PST. Now, I've returned to this world for one primary purpose, and that is to remind people that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Now, I bill myself as a spiritual guide because the tools I offer are the same tools that I personally use in my day-to-day life. And the philosophies of life I talk about are the same philosophies I guide almost every movement I make by. And thereby, this said, I know these tools will work for you because they continue to work for me. And they have worked for literally thousands of other people today to various degrees of success, depending on their own personal efforts. Now, today we are going to begin with self-awareness. The journey begins. Who are you? What are you here for? What is your purpose? And how do you go about attaining it? And right off the bat, we have Valerie in with the gold. Okay. And Nathan. Whoa. Now, that is a shock there, Nathan. Sorry, it caught me a little off guard. Nathan is just going, "Hi, everybody, not driving or working today." Said, "Nope, for today." Interesting. Very definitely unexpected, a pleasantly unexpected surprise, but unexpected nonetheless. Now, where is what I'm looking for? And of course, I don't have it up. Of course not. So we are going to open up this way.
I've got a key. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I won't worry about it. Thank you very much. But, now we start at the very beginning of it. Okay. This issue of where it all starts. Everybody comes into into existence with Then, before I do that, that is the link to Nathan's show. So absolutely drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, give him a thumbs up and do subscribe to the channel and then share the daylight title of the thing. It is this sharing of links and of information that is going to draw this world into a much more stable position. Now, everybody literally has the same goal. You're all born with the same overall purpose. This is not a contract. This is a purpose. Big difference. But you're here to remember who and what you are. Now, a couple of things to just throw out there. Okay. Let's grab this. Literally, this series. Okay. Now, the first one that came out is The Birth of the Wolf Pack. The reason I bring this to mind is because the whole soul purpose is covered in book 1. Now, this is literally book 10 in the series. This is book 11. Book 12, I'm just about done. Okay. But the title of the first in this entire saga is literally where it all began. That particular story will explain all of the issue of where you all come from. Okay, as in soulmate, twin flame, soul family, the whole 9 yards of it. What you are here for is to literally find all of the component parts, the good, the bad, the beautiful, and the ugly. Okay. I know if Clint Eastwood were there, we don't talk about beautiful, right? But that is what your overall purpose is you go around the third dimension. Everything in this particular dimension that you can bear, that you can see, that you can register, that you can quantify, is all third dimension. Now, it may be a question of vocabulary, of terminology, but I keep hearing people go, "Oh, Earth is rising to the fifth dimension. We're going to bypass the fourth. Bad idea to start with. And we're going to go straight to the fifth. Now, the reality is, the more aware, the more in tune with you are, the more able you are to modify your vibratory rate on a conscious level. Now, I'm not entirely certain, but it is possible that what people are referring to as a dimension is simply a higher vibration in a physical sense. And what do we got here? One of the things that we have to realize is that when you desire to change your life, you've got to get clear what you're aiming for. Okay. In my case, I've decided after a little bit, and I only hinted at it, I did send a letter to a number of people that, let's say, did not reflect a very good outlook on life. Okay. But I came to the conclusion, and I encourage you to come to this same one, that hanging on to the anger from the past is a bad idea. It is not productive. And let's see, before I get any further here, because I screwed something up. We do know we have Valerie in with the gold. Nathan is in with the silver. And I do believe that Kevin just showed up with the bronze. So I do hope things are going well for all of you. Quick little note there, Valerie. I literally took all of what was on the text you sent, that we've literally sent. I'm going back through all of it. You've got some of it. To say you've got the most recent. Okay. But to say I've overswamped myself is an extreme understatement. But let's take a look at this. Okay. What I did was I've got to start over. Not wipe out everything, but really lock things in and get them organized. So, that is literally what I spent my morning doing. Now get this. I woke up at 1 o'clock this morning, local time, obviously. I was up until about 6:30. I went, no, I'm getting tired. I'm going to grab an hour's sleep. That worked out well. I got 20 minutes and I was wide awake. I've been on the go ever since. Do not make the mistake of trying to match my pace right off the bat. Yes, you can work for it and work towards it. And we are going to give you a whole pile of tools to do that with. But what I did was I went, okay, I've got some pretty big projects ahead of me, never mind the writing ones. Okay, but let's go with my filing cabinet over here, which you can't see. It's a 4-drawer legal filing cabinet that is chock full of files that it's time to start eliminating them. Okay, so that is one of my big projects. What I did, for me, it worked like a charm. Took loose leaf paper and went, okay, I've got to sort out my hard files. I've got to sort out my soft journal, because all my journal entries, I write them out. Then we transcribe them onto soft copy, but they are not in order. Emmy, you are in with the honorable mention. Welcome aboard. Glad you could join us. I do trust your day has been going well. So I've got a whole pile of things. Now, this one is really neat. This is a start of a bit of research, which I very seldom do, to find what herbs are going to help my health the most. Okay. Now, from your end, if there's one thing, and I mentioned this yesterday, okay, what I intend on doing is taking a look at individual actual goals and making sure we kick the doors off and get you started on getting on track. With this in mind, have you decided on any goal that you're aiming at to get out of the way, to get completed, and actually come to a fruition? even if it's one that you desire to make happen and you just don't know how to get it there. To me, it doesn't matter what the obstacle. The odds are I'm going to be able to find a way around it. Okay. For me, I just came to the conclusion and I went, no, I am not dealing. I'm not hanging on to my anger at the past. Okay. I am very disappointed in the human race. Okay. Frankly, the human race is losing. Now, they've already lost their humanity. We know this because people are not paying attention to each other and reaching out to help. Okay. This is something that has never been seen to this degree in the past several thousand years. And that's called vertigo. That's been seen, by the way. Not to worry, people. That's called standard table salt, also known as sodium chloride. But I did find out just that little bit overrides vertigo for me. It's kind of a weird setup. I don't know if that works for everybody, but it sure as heck works for me. So, when I took a look at that, first and foremost, you take a look at what's going on in your life. What one thing, just one, are you personally looking to change starting today, right now, not 2 hours from now? Okay, unless you decide to postpone it. I'm not going to have you sit and wait till the end of the show for me to give you keys. Okay, it doesn't work that way for me. It's always been a pet peeve. But when I take a look at the way things are, I go, okay, what is not working? Well, I know I've got to learn to develop a better diplomacy. My problem is, why do I care? Okay, I figure if I'm being straightforward and honest, as long as I'm not swearing at people or deliberately trying to belittle them, then I'm doing nothing wrong. As long as I can stand up and proudly say, this is what I'm doing, okay, then I'm on the right track. Same applies to you. LA, and that's an excellent goal. Okay, tonight, and as a matter of fact, you can actually do this while we're on the air. Okay, because all you got to do is literally find a reflective item. Look in the eyes of the lady looking back at you, and you literally tell her, I forgive you for everything you have done and everything you feel you may have done to hinder my personal growth and happiness. In doing this, that issue of the things that are upsetting you that you're not happy with, you can let go of. Okay, don't forget, especially in the case of empaths, the odds are you're picking up other people's guilt as well, or other people's expectations. You know, and this is the time to really, we will deal with that one right away. This is, Emmy's got a question here. I want to stop procrastinating now. Well, more to the point, what she wrote was literally to stop being a procrastinator. Okay. Where it comes to this issue of forgiving yourself, that is the key to do it. Now, I myself did that this morning. Okay, when I woke up this morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, I mean, it's pretty bad when you think about it. As a matter of fact, let me just see here. Get that out of the way. Yeah, went to bed 10 o'clock last night. Absolutely tired. Crawled into bed. 3 hours later, and I'm awake going, okay, what am I up to? You know, but this is why I say don't make the mistake of trying to match pace. I'll tell you, it doesn't work well. Now, Valerie, Well, Emmy, you desire to stop being a procrastinator. This funny little thing. Okay, let's get you started right off the bat. Do you by any chance have a pen or pencil and a piece of paper? Okay, because we're going to break that procrastination thing right now using your tools and your brain. Okay, that's the first thing we start with. And by the way, for those of you that are procrastinators, absolutely this tool works for you as well. Myself being one of the strongest procrastinators I ever met. Now, you know the term, never do today what you can put off till tomorrow. Well, I'm telling you, I figured out a much better one. Never do what you can put off. Okay. So, I mean, that does work to a degree. A good degree, really. Yeah, can't quite reach that. So, when I got up this morning, where are we? I've got, on this list that we're working on, I've got 28 items on this list already. Okay, of which 19 are complete. So, for those of you that are procrastinators, grab a sheet of paper, and I say a sheet of paper because in a power outage it won't disappear. Okay, grab a sheet of paper, look at the area around you. Whatever you see that is out of place. Now, maybe all that's out of place is maybe you've got a coffee cup there that doesn't belong there. On that sheet of paper, you literally write down, put coffee cup in kitchen, for instance. Okay, maybe it's a question of you've got a file that hasn't been put away. Okay, or maybe it's just, okay, I'm energetic. I require clearing off my computer station. Now, when I call it my computer station, I've got a 17-inch monitor here. Okay, 17-inch laptop. It's on one desk. That desk, I'd go, okay, I got to get that cleared. And you start there. Get 3 things on the list. But make certain those 3 things are only 15 minutes to half an hour duration to get them done. Okay, if at all possible. Once you've got those 3 things done, written down, now you're ready to quit the procrastination process. Okay, now you're ready to move forward. And the trick is you take a look at that list, go to the top one and you go, this is what I got to get cleared. Okay, get it cleared. And yes, by the way, just to be clear, this same method is literally detailed in here, in Believe in Yourself and Follow Your Dreams. Again, we are talking about the backbone of how to really get things started for you. Okay, so Emmy, and like I said, I was going to target individual people. Whoever asks first will start there. Okay, Emmy, and anyone that is feeling like they're procrastinating, pick one thing. Just look where you're sitting. Pick one thing that is not where it belongs. That's it. Doesn't matter what it is. Maybe you got a couple of pens on the desk. Okay, that are supposed to be in a container. Okay, whatever it is, get 3 things on that list. Each of the 3 things only taking 15 minutes to half an hour to complete at a time. Okay, once you've got those 3 down, now you start working on the first one. When the first one is complete, check it off and turn around and add another one to the bottom of the list. This will break that habit. This is why I ended up with 28 items already on my list, 19 of which are finished. Okay, this is the way to break procrastination, but it requires a stubborn streak. In this case, Valerie, I suspect, in Valerie's case, I suspect yours, Emmy, that stubborn is not going to be a problem. But, well, that was bad. Spill water. Water falls on the floor. Gravity does that. But that's what I get. That's what I get for trying to pick something up with my left hand, which still doesn't work entirely well, but I'm working on it. Now, I'm just looking at this. And, oh, wonderful. Yeah, Valerie's just going, nothing's going to change today. And that, and Valerie, we're going to pop a hole in right now. Nothing is certainly going to change with the computer for now. This doesn't mean you can't start changing. Okay, this literally means you got no reason not to change, no functional reason. Take that list and ignoring the electronic side of things, because obviously that's been kind of crippled, pick 3 things you're not content with that are not right where they belong right at this moment. Okay, by doing that, you're getting started. Now, the nice part about it is that's only one aspect. Procrastination is an interesting problem. Now, here's the other neat part about it. If you're finding, and I actually went and researched this to get corroboration of what I already know. Okay, if you're waking up still tired, still lethargic, you're having trouble getting your brain to focus, it is time to do what works. Okay, and that is literally, it is time to take a look at your electronics. Whether we are talking video, computer, television, Facebook Messenger, anything that is getting you to look at an electronic screen, anything at all, make an immediate boundary where you don't touch them for the last hour before you go to sleep. Now again, don't take my word for it. Okay, do not take my word that this works. But if you've never given it a shot, give it a shot and see what you come up with. Okay, it really boils down to making certain you stay on top of things. Please tell me I closed that. Good. Now, one of the neat things about changing this, okay, the reason I paused there, guys, was actually quite simple. To give you a chance to write 3 things down on your sheet of paper. Because we are starting to move forward with whatever it is. We're going to get you started moving. Okay, even though we are on the air. Okay, now specifically to you, Emmy, because you're the one that brought it up. Okay, but this applies to every one of you suffering from procrastination. Okay, literally get 3 things. Oh, there we go. Valerie, that works out well. You'll notice I said don't watch any electronics. Listening to an electronic show like Art Bell's is not a bad move, because he tends to be rather on the uplifting side, or the intellect side. What he doesn't do is he doesn't seem to make a whole pile of promises. He certainly doesn't tell you that the world is a shambles and you're going to die. Okay, but this is why anything of a negative nature we now start putting aside. Okay, because if we don't, all we're doing is choosing to amplify the same problem. Nice. You know, like I get up, I don't have a coffee pot with a timer. I'm still very much a dinosaur. So I'll get up at, like this morning, I got up at 1 o'clock. And yeah, I got up at 1 o'clock this morning and got to work on it. Got my coffee up and running. So it was a question of I like coffee more than I like water. I do drink water because I am doing my best to bring my body back on track. But, and LA's gone, I make my prayers before going to bed. And when I wake, make both very doable. Absolutely. Because what you got to remember there is whatever your goal is, it's going to require physical effort. Okay. Now, here we are. Now, Emmy, have you got 3 items on that list? Because I kid you not, and, if you got a problem with this idea, absolutely let me know. But I intend on making certain you've got solid proof in your hands regarding a better world. Now, I'm not debating whether electronics make life easier, but I will tell you they are not the be-all and end-all. One of the things we have to look at here is, are we going to let this world continue on the path it's on, or are we going to change its trajectory? That choice is yours. Okay, but I've got, like I said, I've got 9 more on my list already that I will be checking off as I go along. Now, I've still got stuff on your text messages, Valerie, that I will be getting to. But you'll notice the way I did, I've added them as far as time, I've edited them as far as time goes. So, when we look at it, you get the first thing on the list done. Now, I'm not working on my list right now. I'm just going to add to it as I go along. Well, that was an interesting noise. I am a firm believer that when your mind can conceive it and your heart can believe it, you can achieve it. Do not take this to stupid levels. A person jumping from 30,000 feet without a parachute, I don't care if you believe it's going to work. I would lay odds it's going to work doing one thing. Okay, and all things work the same way in this perspective. Okay, what's happening here is we're getting you to alter the energy flow around you by eliminating the problem children. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. In all fairness, I'm not exactly betting on it. But, now, why, pray tell? Intriguing. Like I said, sometimes things get really odd around me. You just kind of get used to it after a while. But what have we got here? Christine, how you doing? Glad you could join us. That's okay, neither did I. But I did get told it is time, like literally, it is time for all of us to get off our tail feathers and make this happen. Okay. One of the most important things here is, regardless of whether you're praying for things to change, you're hoping for things to change, it is up to you. So if you haven't done so already, get your sheet of paper out. We are changing, we're going to alter the whole 9 yards. Okay. Now, I happen to have 2 clipboards. This one is my to-do list. It's here anyway. And then I've got my blank one for things I'm working on that come to mind while I'm on air. Okay. Now, take a look, and let's take a look at the physical side of this. Again, we are going to get a solid look at yourself. Never mind anybody else. Okay. This is just simply understanding who you are, what makes you tick. Okay. Now, this blank one that I've got, you can just grab another sheet of paper. I just find this easier. Okay. Take a look at yourself from the top down. Okay. Are you content with not just the length of your hair, not just the condition, but the length, the condition, the style, in some people's cases, the color? Are you happy with your hair the way it is? We start there because then everything trickles to the ground floor. Okay. Take a look. Now, if you're not content with the way your hair is, okay, mark down what you feel needs to be changed. Maybe you don't know. Maybe it is just a question of you've got to get a different hairstyle. You've been stuck in a rut for a while, and maybe that's the best move. Okay. Then you take a look. Once you've done that, take a look at your face. In my case, I look at my face and go, well, that was a bad idea. Ever wake up first thing in the morning, turn the light on, and you're looking directly at the light bulb? Okay, and your eyes are just watering, and you're going, wait a minute, I can't see now. I have that same feeling every time I look at my own face. Okay, it's like, now there's a shock I could have lived without. But we take a look. Really? We take a look at what you're aiming at your physical appearance. Now, I was absolutely stunned this morning because I've started doing exercises to get my physical body in shape. And I was absolutely stunned when I did a full sit-up, as in from laying down, bringing myself up at the waist without grabbing hold of anything. I have not done that in over 30 years. Probably in over 40, in all fairness. But it's a long, drawn-out process, and this is something you got to realize. Self-awareness is not a question of just going, oh, I know exactly who I am. I would lay odds you really don't. Okay, now, I am talking about looking at your positive side and your negative. Now, clearly, if you're looking at the positive side, you're likely to run into smaller obstacles. Okay, if you're looking at the bigger problems, you've got to break them down. Here we are. Emmy's gone. Done. 1. Washed my dish. 2. Picked up the cardboard box on the floor. 3. Cleared off desk. Fantastic. Now that you've got those, put 3 more on the list. At all times, have 3 things on the list. When you finish one, write a third one down. Check off the first one, write a third one down. Okay. Now, before you do that, Christine, now I'm glad you got your exercise in today. Glad you got your mom to the bank. Now, cleaning, now you've got here, let me just move that. There we go. Need to clean the apartment. Well, we'll just call it the apartment. Take a look in your apartment and break it down in this fashion. You start with wherever you work on your finances and your organization. Okay. Now, my desk, and I know you can't see it, but it is separated into 5 sections. I've got my one counter that my monitor sits in. I've got the glass desk that my laptop sits on. Another glass desk that has my calendar. Then I've got a glass shelf that has the books I've been writing, and a wooden one down here for odds and ends I'm working on. Now you'll notice I've got 5 sections in the desk. In most bookshelves, you will have 5 or 6 different shelves. Mark them down as shelf 1, 2, all the way to the bottom. Okay, these are all individual jobs. They are all aimed at the same thing: getting your apartment sorted out. Okay, when you're aiming at changing things, it is absolutely imperative that you literally approach it with a logical mind. And this is why I said, when your mind can conceive it and your heart can believe it, you can achieve it. This literally means you know, in your case, Valerie, where are we here? I think it was Valerie, was it not? No, Christine, my apologies. Now, Christine, in your case, break the cleaning of the apartment down into small sections, but just deal with them one at a time. In other words, yes, if you've got a bookshelf, okay, literally, if it's got 6 shelves, including the top, mark each one down as a small task to do. As they get done, check them off. The reason for this is you will find that by breaking them down into smaller tasks, if you look at the overall, let's say you think it's going to take about 2 hours to do the entire apartment, okay, or better yet, more likely, 2 hours to do the entire living room. You break it down into smaller sections, because if you leave it as a 2-hour project and it takes you and you get called away beforehand, now you feel like I didn't get anything done. I got to go back, find another 2-hour slot, and then make it happen. Now, this is complicated at best. If you break it down into smaller sections, you'll be able to go, okay, I managed to get 6 of these 12 items done. And by getting 6 of the 12 done, now you only have to find an hour to get the rest done if you got called away. Okay, because the reality of it is this: by taking dominant control of your life, in spite of what other people have told you, you're going to change your life for the better. And the neat part of it is that, let's say you're shooting for the stars. Absolutely do so. You may only get to orbit, but you're still higher than you were without the use of drugs. No, I'm not leaving the room. But I've got a little plant here that I've been neglecting. Not fun. Looks like vertigo is going to be one of these fun things for me today. But that's okay. That's why I've got the salt. Okay, now you're getting to know yourself. First thing that we've done is you've already taken a look in the mirror and gone, not happy with this physical aspect of myself. Now, I'm not happy with this. It's nothing. My waistline now is nothing compared to what it was. Okay, but I came to the conclusion I'm not content with my life. Therefore, I'm making some rather drastic and potentially radical changes. But I'm making them for me. Okay, and it's absolutely critical in your case that you decide, okay, I'm changing, but why are you changing? Are you changing because somebody else said you've got to? Or are you changing because you have already concluded that you've got to make the change? Okay, either one works. You know, whatever gets you motivated is what we draw on. Absolutely, LA. You know, absolutely. LA's just going, I figured out how much time each job takes some time ago. Realized most jobs are only 2 to 5 minutes each. Absolutely. Okay. If I take a look at that, you know, and this is why you list them off. Okay. Like many of these jobs I've already done, many of these 19. Okay. I've got 3 books in here that I've been reading. And all 3 of them, okay, I spend 2 to 5 minutes reading. But I am making my way through them. You know, the thing is, if you try doing a 2-hour job all at once, if you get called away, number one, you feel like you got nothing done. Number 2, you're going to feel as though the day got ran away on you, and it becomes a problem. When you actually get organized in what your life is doing and what your expectations are, you'll find things come into balance very nicely. Okay, and yes, I do tout the use of the list. The list works. I mean, heck, take a look at it this way. This list works for me. I write 3 things down, and then I tend to get carried away on occasion. Like right now, even 9, 1, 2. Okay, I write down a bunch of things, but like I said, I've got 19 out of 28 things on the list already done. Okay, one of the things I've been doing is this. Now, just to put this in perspective, this here are my hard copy files from my office. Okay, if I go here and add to the list of what I'm working on, I literally add hard files A sort. Okay, now that starts me on the road to getting 26 different little tasks done by going through the files and removing the stuff I don't require. Same thing applies to everything in your life. When you identify something that is not sitting where you feel it should be, that's your indication to make a change. But you're the only one that can make a change. And I hate to be the one to tell you guys this, if you happen to be Christian and God's going to change your world for you, He gave you free will and freedom of choice to do with what you will. Okay, now, there are other races on Earth. Okay, but you got to remember, are there because they decided that they would try and find a foothold. Okay, now is the time to take your life. No, that's wrong. Now is the time to reclaim power over your life by identifying what you are drawn to. Now, I came to a conclusion when it comes to astrology. These books are all astrology books I've been working with. Okay, but there's a problem with astrology. Okay, in a nutshell, the quantifiers or the qualities are all fine. It's the calculations they screwed up on. And I'm not about to try and convince anybody of that one. Maybe one day I'll explain it. Matter of fact, that's not a bad idea. Where are we? That funny little list of items I'm working on. By the way, gravity works. We are going to write an article called, and that is titled literally, Flaws in Western Astrology Calculations. I'm making this one down, writing this down so it can come out in July. It might come out in June, but I wouldn't hold on my breath on that. I do have to slow my writing down, obviously. Okay, flaws in Western astrology calculations. Now, yes, I do know full well that everything has a flaw. Okay, once you know what the flaw is, correct the flaw. You may have to change it again. Okay, but this is where the examination period comes in. Okay, but by getting, and what do we got here? Oh, that's fantastic there, Christine. Yeah, I'm just noticing Christine is finding she's getting more and more energy, which is a great thing. And I will tell you, here's the other kicker to energy. I mentioned this earlier. I'm going to reiterate it because I know for a fact it works that way. Now, I'm no researcher. I mean, I haven't gone and said, hey, try this pill, try this technique. When it works, give me a call back. Sorry, guys, I'm not doing that. Makes sense? Now, I just love when my brain does that. Obviously, my brain is working way faster than my mouth is. But get these goals down and start making them happen. Okay. It literally boils down to an issue of making things, you taking dominant control of your life and going, what am I not content with? And then making the alteration. You know, one of the biggest things that we got to look at is once you start getting the energy blocks out of your house, as in getting the clutter, getting rid of the clutter, clearing the main arteries of your living space, you will find your energy starts to climb rather exponentially. Okay, but don't get cocky about it. These are just blank sheets for the moment. Okay, but, and you guys will love this one. This is total sidetrack. But the owlbear was looking for, right there. Okay, so when you take a look at what you're not content with what is not sitting where it belongs, the moment you start moving the stuff out of the way, you'll find your energy levels climb. This is what you're... Yeah, let's not do that again. Okay. Now, when I start taking a look at these, I've got to go tonight, after I get off stream, I will go through these files one at a time and eliminate the things I no longer require. But I'm a dinosaur. I still use hard copy files. Okay. Where it comes to your exercise, do it small pieces at a time. Okay. Now, to be clear, you did not get in the physical, mental, or spiritual shape you're in right now overnight, in all likelihood. Okay. This is why it is so imperative that you start working with a list now. Okay. Now, of course, I do have these little books. No, it won't be tying it off. I'll be tying off the framework before the end of the weekend for Believe in Your Organization. But again, that gets your backbone of how I literally changed my life. Okay. And this was done by taking dominant control in the way we've been just assessing at this point. Okay. Then we've got Believe in Your Business. Now understand, if you're running a household, you're running a business. Okay. But knowing where the pitfalls are is the real key factor. Okay. Then you've got Believe in Your Finances. Now, Believe in Your Organization will be coming out as soon as I can get it done. Bearing in mind, I desire it to be done in an efficient fashion. Okay. Now, you go up there because I don't desire you at this point. So we've looked at your spirit. That is who you are. Whether you come back next lifetime or the lifetime after, your personality is still rooted right in the heart chakra. Now, I've heard people and Reiki masters across the board have almost unilaterally told me that the chakras have to be placed at the extremities. Okay. Or in a very specific set. Now, the neat part about it is they do have colors they all correspond with. But in order to make things happen, you got to get off your tail feathers and make them work. Okay. One of the biggest things that you've got to look at is are you making a positive change to your life right now? If you're not content with the way your life is going, it is time to literally put on paper what you feel is going to work. Very important you take that to mind. Okay, because if you don't, you're condemning yourself to stay on the same path. Okay, that's just the reality of it. Now, let me ask you this. Are you content with your wardrobe? Does your current wardrobe portray the real you? I am wondering. I don't think it's in here. Oh, Lord, where'd it go? I don't know, and that's annoying. But you take a look at the clutter you've got in your life and decide, are you content with that clutter? And I will tell you, some of you will sit there going, yeah, I'm perfectly content with it. It's been that way for 10 years. It wouldn't have been if I'm not content. The reality is, most people in today's world, on top of being self-sabotaging, are professional procrastinators. Okay, meaning never do today what you can put off. Okay, kind of a critical concept. Now, oh, yeah, that's already covered there. One of the things I will tell you is, if you're an empath, you may be imagining you may think you're imagining it when you hear an animal or a plant talk. Now, I will tell you, telling the people around you that don't know you that well or don't know metaphysics may look at you with absolutely twisted eyes. When they look at the shift you're pulling, when you look at what you're pulling at work, are you actually accomplishing what you're setting out to do at work? Don't forget, work, your primary workplace, oddly enough, is your home, not the workplace you're getting paid for. Okay, your primary job is the running of your house. Now, absolutely show up at work on time. Very necessary. But where it comes to altering the way your life is going, your home has to be your priority. If it is not, it is likely to end in a very unfortunate fashion. If you leave your life the way it is, if you do nothing to change it, except, and I hate to put it this way, well, no, I don't. If all you do is sit on the edge of your bed, or maybe you're kneeling down, okay? But if all you're doing is going, you're sitting there and you're going, oh God, please may straighten my life out. Please help me get my bills paid. That's great. It helps you focus. Absolutely keep doing that. And then get off your tail feathers and look for another job. Or really take a look at your finances and make sure that you're not overspending. Now, I made the mistake myself of overspending again, trying to convince myself I'm happy. In case you didn't know, I'm not. Okay, I've made some pretty stupid maneuvers. Now, the fact of the matter is, I cannot change those classes. I cannot change your life. I can tell you, if you do not make alterations, your life stays the same. And if the issue of changing, if the issue was that thinking about doing something is as good as doing something, if that were in fact the way it works, okay, I would grab one of the little toys I got around here and go, hocus pocus, I desire all the clutter to be out of my house. Okay, and it's just gone. Okay, this is the power of manifestation. If you pay attention to what you're doing, you can make things turn around in a much better fashion. And yes, I know that sounds way too easy. Okay, but what I'm talking about here is the same stuff that I'm going to be talking about in Positive Perspectives in the newsletter. Okay, these are all connected. Now, I figure if I'm going to come out of the shadows, it's time to bring a spotlight with me and literally look at people the same way. As in, I'm not happy with the way my life is, so I'm changing it. It's going to take time. It's absolutely going to take time. But, where did I put it? Whenever it's there. No, that is not what I was looking for, but that one is. All the way up. Where are we? Okay, what do we got? No, I'm definitely not dealing with that. I do have, I desire to make my newsletter a little bit more enticing. So I have started putting jokes in, started putting little tidbits into it to make it, to break up the monotony. You have a life. Okay, it's time to decide what is most important to you. Is it your health, your finances, or your kids? Okay, in your eyes, which one is the most important one? Or maybe it's your business that you've got that you're looking at going, I've got to keep this running. It is time to do a complete reassessment and see where your actual priorities are. Okay, one of the big things that I have discovered is that when you finally figure out where you're standing, that's when you can start altering the path you're on. Where did I just put it? There it is. Now, I've got to repaint this guy. Okay, I'll be doing him before Tuesday, right? But I'm going to be repainting him brown and black. This, like I said, I've got characters coming up now in the Elderbachian Chronicles. Okay, the creatures I'm working with. Yes, I'm using figures from D&D because they come up with some really neat ones. Okay, but okay, now watch this. As a matter of fact, give me 10 seconds. Because again, this literally boils down to being aware of you. Okay, this was literally somebody's concoction, and I figured I had a use for him, so I picked him up. Okay, you'll notice he doesn't have any functional capacity. This is not literally any creature I've seen. Okay, but it does fit the bill of falling into science fantasy. So this funny little monster is not one that I've actually borne witness to. Most of the rest of them, one way or the other, I have. Okay, but when we are talking about creatures, and I'm talking about my world, now my world is simple. Okay, I've got positive perceptions. And, L.A. Moon pointed it out. A lot of what I talk about on positive perceptions does come out of this series. Okay, and I'm in the middle of adding to it as we go. In time, I will have all 12 of these done. Then I will turn them in over, and then I will put them into a complete anthology because each one of these contains tools to do part of your life. Okay, but these are the same tools I personally am using. Now, positive perception and perspectives is what I intend to make with the assistance of those of you that are willing to participate, turning into one of the biggest free magazines to bring a little bit of light to people's eyes. Okay, a little bit of hope to their chest. This is a question that I'm looking at going, okay, there is so much negativity out there, it gets to me on occasion. But I've decided that getting mad about that isn't being very productive. Now, very important. Whoop, I don't like that. Shrink that. very important where it comes to, what I'm creating. I've got a very clear image. You have to get a clear image of what you're not content with. Don't worry about what you're aiming for. Now, I had a call this morning from a client of mine. Okay, what she did was, look, I need to sit down with you for a consultation. First of all, we took care of that. Matter of fact, I wonder if we did take care of that. Where are we? We go to that, and I have to get to there. Yeah, this is what's called taking a look at the reality of my life. Okay. Who's that? All the way down. Nope. Okay. I had a call this morning from a client going, look, can I get a consultation? And I've got another client, another friend that would like to know if you can take on another client. And I'm like, absolutely. Bear in mind, I made the decision. I'm changing my life now. Not next week. Not next month. Now. It is imperative, and I strongly encourage you to do so, to change your life, to really take a look at what your goals are and make them happen. Rest assured, thinking about doing something is not as effective as doing it. Okay? And should not and will not be rewarded and should not be punished for as much as, if it's a good thing, it should be rewarded. If it's a bad thing, thinking about it, absolutely, if it's not acted upon, you're not going to be able to do it to judge anything on it anyway. Okay, but it is imperative you pick which direction you're ready to go. You need that. Okay. Now, one of the important factors I look at here is this. We've got a world that is in a shambles right now, but you've got the ability to alter it. You literally yourself have the ability. Now, if you've already started doing so, great. If you have not, get a sheet of paper, okay, and put 3 things on your list. Now, I know we've got a couple of things wrapped here. One being the procrastination issue. Okay, how the heck to break it? Well, breaking procrastination is this. Okay, when it comes to worrying about things, that is one of these issues that requires a stubborn disposition. The moment you start worrying about something, first and foremost, ask yourself literally, do you have any functional control over whether that event takes place? In the case of a storm, odds are you're not going to do much with it. I don't fit in the same bill. I've diverted storms before on a number of occasions. But it boils down to breaking the goals down. It boils down to breaking the goals down in a way that they only take 15 minutes to half an hour each at the most. Okay. Now, one thing you will find when you look these up, these books, very concise. Okay. The fact that if you're even looking at it going, wait a minute, what does it contain that's so much different? I will tell you this. What it contains is the backbone changes that I made in my life. Now, do I know they work? Absolutely. Okay. Am I going to tell you they're better than everything on the market? Absolutely not. But the fact you're still looking says you haven't found what you're aiming for. And realistically, a $20 Canadian investment in your own life, in my opinion, ain't too terribly bad. This is a question of how do you change it? If you're not content with your wardrobe, number one, do not throw your wardrobe out until you've got a replacement wardrobe. Okay, because if you do, you're asking for other problems. If that makes sense. Yeah, that's not going to work. I don't have quite enough room in my apartment. But so be it. I work with what I got. When you're looking at you, the backbone of figuring out who you are, literally ask yourself when you look in the mirror, okay, ask yourself, do I like what I see? If the answer is no, then make a change. Okay, doesn't matter what you change it to, because you can always change it back. Now, sometimes if you make a change like, oh, I've got hair all the way down past my elbows, I'm going to change it, so I'm going to cut it off. A week later, you're not getting it back. Okay. But it boils down to a very simple issue. You've got to take dominant control of your life by putting boundaries in place you're content with, by putting expectations in place you feel you can attain. Okay. And I will tell you, this idea of yelling at your kids or your roommates to get something done doesn't work as well as you might think. Okay. That's why I say it's critical you get started thinking about what you can do. Now, when we take a look at you, if you're wearing glasses, okay, whether it's glasses or contacts, it doesn't matter. There's a book out called The Bates Method to Better Eyesight Without Glasses. I don't know the ISBN number off the top of my head. But that book gave me the keys to be able to rebuild my eyes. Okay, using non-medicinal and non-invasive surgery techniques. This is why I am rebuilding my eyes at 60, almost 61, while most people, their eyes are failing. I decided I didn't like the idea of my eyes failing. So let me ask you this. In your eyes, have you figured out even one thing that is not where it belongs in your life right now? Like in your primary living area, wherever you work on your organization or your business. Doesn't matter. Okay. Now, I'm calling, like I said, running a house is running a business. You got to keep your utilities paid. You got to keep your insurance in place. And it would be an idea to keep the right food in place. Okay. Now, yes, I keep standing up because, well, frankly, body's doing really weird things. But the more we know about ourselves, when I disappeared, the more you know about yourself, the better off and the more efficiently you'll be able to co-create a much better world for you. Hey, look, I've got a halo. Yeah, that was right out of left field. But the more clearly you see you and the image you desire to portray to you, okay, that's when things change, is as you start adjusting things. And I will tell you this. No, I was going to do something there. It's all packed up, so I'm not going to worry about it. But clothing does not make the person, but I will tell you this. Changing your wardrobe will change the way you see yourself and it will change the way other people see and subsequently treat you. Don't believe me? Get dressed up in your work clothes, assuming you're going to work in the garden or doing yard work. Or worse, get into greasy coveralls. Try and get into a high-class restaurant. Okay, the odds are if you do that, they're going to turn you away. So, clothing doesn't make the person. If it did, everybody in the military would behave exactly the same way as would everybody in any sort of business that relies on a certain image. Okay, not to mention those in private schools where uniforms are an enforced thing. Okay, when you look at that, clothing itself does not make the person. Okay, but it will affect the way that you see yourself and the way others see you. Now, you're getting a better image of who you are, theoretically. Okay, and let's see what we got here. See, one of the biggest things that I have found is if you keep trying to make everything perfect, you're going to run into a problem. Get a working framework done to start with. Okay, if the appearance of your, like in my case, of your bedroom is of import, make sure you focus on the image. Okay, which is why, even though I've got paper over it most of the day, at the end of the day, I pick the paper up and put it back. Okay, but when you're looking at the image of work, how you behave, how you treat your responsibilities is the biggest issue. What do we got here? Oh, Wood's going just past the gas station. My food total was $6.66. I left card, couldn't get food. Put it back. Clerk said it happened 2 times earlier with the same price total. Oh, now that's just trippy. Yeah, that is definitely a little trippy. Yeah, and there he goes. So he, all of a sudden Wu turns around and goes, God bless and protect us all. Amen. Now here's the thing, and I'm not the one to ask where it is. I am a firm believer the number of the beast, since we're going there, which is 666. Somewhere in the Bible, and I am watching for it, they say, and my memory says, 666 is not the number to concern yourself with. It's 666 inverted, meaning 999. And if you're German, that really makes sense. Now, what do we got here? I tell you, things like that, I always look at it. It's like, okay, something's a little screwy here. Okay, but what you got to remember is not something that's outside your control. Does it make any practical sense to worry about it? Not in my eyes. Okay. Yeah. Hell, he's just going, yeah, well, if I were the clerk, I'd be finding another job. See, I'm twisted. I'd be capitalizing on that. Shoplifter comes in, he's going to shoplift. You just let him know. Look, you're looking like you're up to something, which is fine. The cops aren't going to be the problem. You may get away with it with them, But I got demons running around the middle of this site. You might want to leave the stuff alone. Yeah, what do we got here? Yeah. I promise this just happened so the guy bought more stuff that was in line behind me. Yeah. Now, fortunately, I'm not superstitious. Here's why I say fortunately. If I were superstitious, I'd worry about the number 13. Okay? Because my birthday falls onto a 13. Which may explain why I've had such a rough run of things. But I don't worry about it. Now, the neat thing about it is the more that we pay attention to what we're doing, the better off you can make things happen. Oh, there you go. Yeah, his is in April, is it not there, Ellie? You know, every now and again, I end up with a Friday the 13th birthday. Once in a while, I'll end up with a Mother's Day birthday. But much more importantly, okay, I look at it going, I was born on a Monday. Okay. Do I put a lot of weight behind that either? No. Okay. But I do put a lot of weight behind I am worth it. There is no way I'm going to throw that idea out the window. Okay. Because by really figuring out what makes you content and eliminating the things around you that you're not content with, this is how you figure your life out. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Oh, there we go. Ellie's just going, nope, not April, December. The neat part about it is when you take a look at a birthday, okay, absolutely look at the birthday. But understand, in my opinion, I get one birthday. In my case, I got two, but that's another issue. Okay, everything else is a celebration of the event that already took place. Okay. That one I got to double check on. Let's go see. I will be right back. I am back. Oh, that for quick. Now, what we have to look at when you're looking at who you are, you've got to decide what you're content with. Okay. Are you content with your appearance, with your health? Okay. Now, I was really happy the other day. Where was it here? This was what my own work on my health is doing. Where are we? Oh, I have it written down here. What was it earlier? I was going to give you, there we are. On Sunday, after walking around all over the place, okay, my blood pressure was literally 137 over 78 or over 75 with a 78 pulse. Now, this is what the doctors were telling me couldn't be corrected without medication. I haven't been on medication for months because I just decided I didn't like going blind. or suffering from dementia. Mind you, some of you might think I'm suffering from dementia anyway. The more you know about you, the more you'll be able to change things for the better and capitalize on your strengths instead of emphasizing the weaknesses. Okay, but it boils down to combining what you know, what you personally have experienced, and the input of people that you trust. Okay. Now, I get a kick out of it because they told me I could not lose the weight without taking a pill. Well, I'm down 60 pounds. Yes, it took me 2 years. That was my pulse on Sunday, and I keep very close tabs. It felt funny, but that's about as good as you get, really. Okay, like I said, and I've told some people, I'm not planning on dying anytime soon. So I'm doing what I can to correct my health. Now, I wonder if it's this sheet. Nope. I don't know which sheet it was. It must be out in the shop or in the car. But I am looking now at, oh, wait a minute, there is that it? Maybe not, maybe. Nope. Okay, I am looking at things this way. The more you know about your life, and the more you know about what makes you content, the better off you're going to find yourself. Okay, these are literally the tools that I'm working with, and this is why I say I know they'll work for you. But you gotta look in the mirror and ask yourself, are you content with you? Okay, if you are, this is fantastic. If not, it is time to start making a change. Okay, but only you can figure out what change is necessary. Okay, now let me ask you this. Now, I've had a couple of things. Procrastination. Okay, the reason the list works for cutting off procrastination is because by breaking things down into smaller component parts, you will feel like you're getting something accomplished. Okay, I mean, let's face it. I can take a look at this, and I don't expect you to read it, but you'll notice the amount of writing that's on there. Okay, and there's a check mark by a bunch of them. That's because those are all things that I managed to accomplish today. So I can look at that and go, okay, today was the 27th. I've managed to get all of these things done. Just had to add another one and we were just tying off. But you desire to change your life, you have to know what is making you content. Or are you one of these people that is doing what I did? Let's spend a bunch of money to convince myself that I'm content. I'm done convincing myself. Just flat out, I'm not. The way people, because I'm a full empath, and I pick up on what the planet is, what eats ourself, Mother Earth, Gaia, whatever you want to call her. I pick up on that and all the people around me, as well as the animals and plants. With this in mind, okay, I made the decision I'm not going to hang on to the negative past anymore. I'm not going to be dealing with that. Okay, so there are people that have come into this room, into this stream that have been problem children. If they do not create another problem, then I'm not going to worry about what they did. As I've told people, when you meet somebody, absolutely before you get involved, talk to people that have dealt with them. Absolutely, if at all possible. But bear something in mind. The fact that somebody did something bad to one person does not unilaterally mean they will do something bad to the next. Okay, What it does mean is be aware that they've done that, keep an eye open, and don't walk into it blindly. Okay. Now, I'm just looking at this and going, okay, what have I still got to get done? Now, I've got a major chunk of work to do, but my office, aside from a few things I just put there, that's outside, so I can't deal with that. This can sit here, because this is my holiday file to make sure that I've got everything I require to go to Reno. This. Oh, yeah. These are different parts of stuff I'm working on. But all of this gets cleared off before the end of my day. Kind of a necessary little commodity. Now, I'm going to have to take, thank you very much, Ellie. I've got to go get a water refill, so I'll be right back. Now, the neat part about all this is that the more you realize about what makes you content, okay, the more you like about the more you can identify that makes you content about your life, the easier it's going to be to co-create the world you desire to have. Now, the neat thing about that is when we get all of you doing this, or even a few of you. Okay, a few of you? Yeah, we say that really fast, all of a sudden it becomes really weird. But when you look at it, when individuals start changing their life, okay, in my case, I've looked at it and gone, I got broadsided the other day, just yesterday, I think. Ended up writing a letter to a number of key people and going, here's the way I'm looking at the world. And I will tell you, I was hurt, I was mad, and mad was the understatement. But I was really, really disgusted with the way things had gone. Now, I've gotten past that, and things are coming into balance. So it boils down to one thing. You figure out what you're content with, and your life can change for the better. but it's going to be at your hands, not at God's hands. God gave you free will. God gave you freedom of choice. Let's say you don't believe in God. We can go there. Politicians don't decide whether you're successful. Your efforts do. A spiritual guide, a religious leader, does not determine if you're going to hell. Okay. I will tell you this. I saw a bumper sticker one day. It was a Christian bumper sticker, but it was priceless. For those of you that don't believe in God, you better pray you're right. Because if you're right and God doesn't exist, when you die, you got nothing to worry about. If you're wrong and you live as though he doesn't exist and you end up dying, you're going to have to deal with him. And I'm telling you, that's not necessarily a good idea. But karmic law is the key to it. Be true to yourself first. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. Energy out, energy in. Okay. It literally boils down to this. When you are looking at yourself and you go, this is what makes me happy. Be open-minded. Yours is not the only way to look at the world. But if you're following karmic law, okay, maybe the person doesn't agree with you. Maybe the person you're dealing with doesn't agree with you that because you don't have the same income, you don't belong in the same club. Newsflash, that's business. Okay, if a business says, if you don't have this kind of income, you're not welcome, they are entitled to do that. Is it discrimination? It is from the standpoint of they made a choice and said, here is the rules of our house. Okay, if you make rules in your house, you're going to desire people to follow them. Okay, that's just the reality behind it. But if you desire that to come into play, it is critical that you follow the laws that other people place. Okay, I am looking at a real possibility of changing this world for the better. Now, 4 years ago, up until 4 years ago, I was literally on my own just trying to figure things out. 4 years ago, I ran into my other half, and she's been a phenomenal support and assistance. Okay, then just last year, okay, we ended up with LA Moon. Well, just this year, really, LA Moon and Storm have stepped up to the plate and gone, okay, let's make this stream work. Now, there are problems here, absolutely, but the one thing that I do desire is the same thing that I instill in my own home. I desire everybody in here to be safe, to be treated properly, to be treated equally. I don't know if properly is the right word. I will tell you, whether I am dealing with moderators, temporary visitors, regular listeners, it doesn't matter. You're all to be treated equally. You all have the same rules. And if you look at the top of the stream, you'll see the list of rules that are there. Okay, now one of the things I am currently working on, one of the things I've currently got in the works is to put together a poetic anthology. And again, where it comes to the newsletter, just to be clear, newsletter, when a poem is submitted there, if I decide to publish it, I won't be paying for it because I don't charge for the newsletter. But that's where it'll go. If it is to go into the anthology, that's where I require literally a letter from you stating this poem is your own work and I have the right to reprint it in whole or in part as I see fit. Okay, but I don't have the right. You still have the rights to do what you will. It just enables me to work with it. Okay. Out of that, you will absolutely get a copy of the anthology. Now, I've already started putting the anthology together. Okay. And it will be kept down to, well, I was already talking to my printer. Okay. And she suggested a book that size, which means we'll be dealing with a book that will be retailing at $20 in your hand. In all likelihood. Okay. Now, that will be for the small ones. I will eventually put bigger ones together. But this is one of those things of, as these options are coming available, I will let people know. What you've got to realize is the empire I'm talking about building, that's my vision for me. Maybe you've got a different goal. Aside from just eliminating the procrastination factor, maybe it's a question of, I no longer desire to drink. I've got the key to curing that without withdrawals. Now, I don't guarantee a thing aside from the fact that I'm not going to lie to you to make you feel better. Okay, that key, as a matter of fact, where is my... Ow! Gee, that hurt a lot. Caught my foot on the table leg. Definitely hurt a lot. Didn't break it, but that hurt a lot. What I'm doing here is marking off a couple of articles that are going to be coming out in future editions of Positive Perspectives. Okay. Because the reality of it is, anything I do here is going to remain free. Anything I do on Positive Perspectives is going to remain free. Okay. That's just because that's the way I look at it, the way I desire it to go. So, you know you've got to look in the mirror and ask yourself, are you content? Okay. Now, I know I've got to go and get new glasses, for instance. What I haven't decided, like these are dark. What I haven't decided is whether or not I desire another dark set of lenses, or not lenses, but dark frames, or a lighter frame. And yes, that said, input is more than welcome. I don't have to pay much attention to them. I figure if they hold my lenses in front of my eyes, I'm happy. Figure out what you're content with, if you're content with your wardrobe. Okay, if you're content with your physique. I'm not content with either. So I'm now doing what I can in the way of physical exercise. Okay, in order to bring myself back up into decent shape. Well, I'll tell you, when I went to do a sit-up this morning, and I found myself sitting upright, I almost had a coronary. Because I'm like, I have not had this ability in 30 years. How's it going, Renee? Glad you could join us. You know, it boiled down to effort. Okay, simple, straightforward. These changes are not going to happen because you wish them to, because you ask somebody else to make them happen. Okay, this is a question of you've got to make the decision that you're going to put the effort in. That's how your life is going to change. But it boils down to one little issue. Are you content with your life as is? If you are not, now is the time to start changing it. Now is the time to put the tools to use. Okay. Now, these books on their own contain individual tools. Combined, they will make a much better impact. Think about it this way. If you take the tools in Believe in Your Business and Follow Your Dreams and combine them with Believe in Your Finances and Follow Your Dreams, these two books alone have helped people transform their businesses from a struggling business to, in one case, a global business. In one I can think of offhand, took it from a local business to global. Another one took it from struggling and dying to retiring in 7 years. And then one guy took his 2 restaurants and blew them up into an empire of 7 restaurants. Okay. Now, am I a multimillionaire? No. But I am wealthier here than I have been in 30 years. Okay. It literally boils down to taking a look in the mirror and going, I'm not content with the way things are. So, I'm going to make changes. Now, if you look out that door right there, you'll see all these figures are across. Those are all figures of different nationalities. They're called some of them are called Boston heads out of England. I have over 100 of them down my hallway. But they are a constant reminder that all peoples on this planet are of equal value. There is not one race, one color, one species that is better than the next. As my father used to put it, this world would be extremely boring if everybody was exactly the same. Okay, so when we are looking at self-awareness, we are looking at how to look at your life, how to change it. Okay, tomorrow we're going to take this whole concept and move it into showing you what happens with society. In spite of the megacorps, in spite of the political leaders, in spite of the spiritual guides. Okay, and what we're going to do is spearhead a revolution. No, we're not overturning any government. We're not shooting anybody. Sorry, guys, you're out of luck. Okay, we are simply changing society. One person at a time for each of us. Okay, it boils down to taking this message that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. And taking it with you and spreading it out to all the people you know. Okay, absolutely invite them to join us. Absolutely invite them again to collect the free newsletter. I'm not about to put out a bunch of negative stuff and go, oh, did you read the news today? You know, did you read the news? Such and such a business got robbed. You know, I got handed a piece of information today that proves the absolute stupidity of the way the human race is behaving right now. Okay, when one person can alter a 50-year, one complaint can alter a 70-year legacy. Okay, one complaint. I heard about this today. I'm going like, what happened to this world where people actually took responsibility for their own life and for their own actions? This is what self-awareness is about. Look in the mirror and literally remind yourself, whatever you're up to, okay, you're the one responsible for it, not the other people. It is not the major media moguls that are causing the amount of negative press. That is in the hands of the individuals. Now ask yourself this. Are you one of these people that will go, oh, here I'm going to post this miserable day that I had. Feel sorry for me. Like, I mean, I'm looking at some of these videos and people are putting a little post up. You know, they put a picture of themselves up and they go, you know, this is what happened. Am I beautiful? I'm telling you, this speaks volumes about self-esteem of today's nation. And I mean of the global nation. Okay, it is time that we realize every single one of you is absolutely drop dead gorgeous, absolutely brilliant in your own way. You may not be brilliant compared to the next person. Maybe somebody doesn't find you as attractive as the next person does. I will tell you, and I've been asked this many times, I have never found a guy that I found attractive. Ever. Okay. There are some people that are very physically well put together. Doesn't mean I find them attractive. It just boils down to a very simple issue. Look in the mirror and decide if you're content. Okay. If you're not content with you, you're responsible for the necessary changes. Okay. And yes, I am putting things together to enhance the newsletter. Like I said, where it comes to positive perspectives or positive perceptions, if you've got an idea that you feel would enhance it, let me know. I'm asking you quite directly. Let me know, because this is something being designed for the world. I'm not about to sit here and say, oh, this one person is better than the next. I will say this person knows mechanics better than the next one. Like, if you're asking me mechanical work, I'm going to look at you and go, yep, it exists. I have been known to decide to spot how to fix a problem. But I'll tell you, years ago, I had a guy come over. He asked me because my car was having trouble. He goes, do you know what's wrong? I said, yeah. Alternator shot, number five distributor line is hooped. And you might as well change the left hand windshield wiper motor. He goes, so why am I here? So I popped the hood on the car and I went, what's the alternator? He goes, what do you mean, what's the alternator? You just told me it was hooped. I said, it is hooped. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the thing looks like. I just know it's gone. And the reality is there's all kinds of people. I'm not the best of the best. Okay. I think it was Joe Stewart put it. I'm not the best, but I'm not perfect, rather, but I am doing my best. I will warn you. When you ask me a question, I'll give you an answer. It may not be what you're looking for. What is important right now, take a look in the mirror, ask yourself, do you like the person you're looking back and that's looking back at you? Do you like their attitude? Do you like their behavior? Do you like the way they carry themselves? If the answer is no, it's time for you to start changing it. Because you're the one that's got the power to do it. And look at that. Unless I miss my guess. I got to take a peek at something here. Just refreshing to get a count here. Okay. Now, tomorrow we are going to be, we're down to 5. I appreciate that, Ellie. Tomorrow we are going to be looking at self-awareness. How is that going to affect society? How can we take our own self-awareness and positively impact the society around us? It is time for us to make these changes happen and to let go of the fear, the anxiety, the negativity. It's time to focus on the positive changes. Okay, now it's going to take a lot of work. Absolutely. But with working together, well, what the heck did I just do? I love it when it does that. Working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Okay, I will be back again tomorrow. But until, I want to say thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I really do appreciate it. I really do. That said, I will be back again tomorrow. Until then, do take care of yourselves and each other. And for pity's sakes, stay positive.
Just to remind everybody, coming up here in about half an hour, we've got our good friend Nathan of the Quantum Show. You might want to stick around and check out his show tonight. We'll hope to see you there.